All right, so we are here at the barn at Bull Meadow in Concord, New Hampshire. This is actually one of my favorite venues for a number of reasons. Number one being the fantastic staff. I'm here with my friend Sydney Nicholson. She is a wedding coordinator here at the barn, and she's going to be giving us a little bit of a tour on what a wedding reception and ceremony setup might look like here at the barn, as well as a rundown on the rehearsal. So let's get started.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. I'm excited to show you guys a little bit of sneak peek of how I do things here at the barn. Let's get started. Okay, so here we have our outdoor ceremony site. We do here at the barn at Bull Meadow have two ceremony locations, one being here and also one being inside at the barn. We do host weddings year-round, so we can do weddings inside in case of rain or snow. But let's talk about what a ceremony would look like here at the outside pavilion. So first, our front row here, we would use for the VIP, parents, grandparents, siblings, whoever you want to sit in that front row so they have reserved seating. Then we would head into our ceremony processional. Typically, that would start with the officiant, who would head in first. We always recommend that they make an unplugged phone announcement or something of the sort, just to let everybody know that they can keep their phones in their pockets during the duration of the ceremony and let the photographer and videographer do their work. After the officiant makes their announcement, then we would start the processional, typically starting with the groom. Of course, every ceremony processional is a little bit different, but this is just one example. So the groom would head in, he would take his space on the right. You can also choose to flop it if that's how you prefer, but traditionally the groom is on the right-hand side. Then that would follow with the grandparents if they're included, and parents, they would come take their seat in the front row. Then we would go into our bridal party. So of course there's many ways to do this as well. They can be in pairs, they can walk individually, however you want that to look like. They will come in and they will take their place on either side of the bride and groom on my left and right. Then we would follow with the flower girl if there is one, and a ring bearer if there is one. They would come in. Often we reserve a seat for them in the front row unless you would prefer for them to be standing. Then we go into the actual ceremony itself, which again is entirely dependent on what you want to do as a couple. Sometimes there's an introduction where the officiant can talk about your love story. Sometimes there are readings or verses that can be done. Sometimes it's just vows and a ring exchange. Whatever you would like to do, every ceremony is very beautiful. It's entirely dependent on what you want to do. So at this point, now we're doing our vows and we're doing our ring exchange. You're reading each other's vows and you're placing the rings on the finger. After you've done your vows and the ring exchange, then you're going to do your kiss. Typically, we ask for the officiant to step off to the side so that there's a clear shot behind you for your photos. And with that being said, try to hold that kiss for 2 to 3 Mississippis, just to make sure that we can get some really good photos of your first kiss as man and wife. Now it's time for the recessional, where you head on down the aisle together as a newly married couple. So you head on down the aisle, followed by your bridal party and your parents. Make sure that when you get to the end of the aisle or the end of the chairs, you pause for one more kiss and also hold that for 3 Mississippis. And then it's off to portraits. So your guests typically will head inside or head to the patio for cocktail hour, but we still have those pictures that need to get done with the bridal party and family, etc. So typically, we recommend that the bridal party wait to the side with the family and everyone that could be included in photos before they head back to cocktail hour, hold off going to the bar, hold off going to the bathroom. For about 20 to 30 minutes, we can get those portraits done. Then you're welcome to go and join cocktail hour after with the guests. So after those family pictures are done, it's time to get the photos done with you and your bridal party. For sake of accessibility, we like to do those typically in the same spot just to make it easier for everyone who's there. So bridal party photos typically take about 15 to 20 minutes. So now it's time to get the pictures done with you and your spouse. So we just did all of our photos with our family, which takes upwards of 30 minutes. And then we have our pictures with our bridal party, which is upwards of 20 minutes. So if you do the math, that's really only about 10 minutes that you have to take photos with you and your spouse. Plus, you want to make sure that you save a little bit of time for bustling your dress and lining up for the reception. So what we recommend is try to build in some time buffers wherever you can to make sure that you have time to fit in everything that you need to get done. This is why we also always recommend do a first look beforehand, so you can try to bust out as many pictures as you can before the ceremony. That way maybe you can enjoy some at cocktail hour afterwards. While you're off doing portraits, your guests are going to cocktail hour. So this is where we do our cocktail hour. It's really a patio space that you can use for many different things, whether it's for your appetizers, for your seating chart, your guest book, whatever you want the space to be. Your guests are really just enjoying the space while you're off doing photos, grabbing a cocktail, and just enjoying themselves. Here we also have a couple bars. So we do have our patio bar, which is directly behind me, and we do have an indoor bar and a little drive-up bar off on the side to the left. And over here, we also have a few different fire pits too that your guests can use. All right, so here we have another great photo spot that's really good for portraits and also your first look. Again, we do recommend a first look because it allows you to get a lot of those photos done beforehand, before the ceremony, and break up the pictures that you're doing during cocktail hour. All right, so now it's time for your reception. Your guests will come in from cocktail hour, which takes place on the patio behind me where we just were. They're gonna come right in through these doors and right into the main hall. They're then welcome to come into our main bar, like I mentioned earlier, which is right here, get themselves a drink, and then they're gonna find their seats. After that, we're doing our introductions. So your bridal party, your parents, whoever you want to be a part of that, my favorite way to do the introductions is to have them introduced from the side entrances and then have the bride and groom come in from the staircase, which is right here behind me. So the new couple is going to come on down the stairs. They're going to go right to the dance floor and right into their first dance. After the first dance, they can take their seats and we'll do a couple of their formalities such as speeches, toasts, whatever you may have lined up, and they'll go right into dinner. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. That was just a little sample of how a day might go here at the barn at Bull Meadow. But of course, every wedding is a little bit different because every couple is different. If you would like to come see us at the barn at Bull Meadow and take a tour, you can go to bullmeadow.com. We hope to see you here soon.